Hey moms, you know that feeling of staring at a 75 plus minute wait time for a ride and you can just hear the kids saying, "We're gonna be here forever, aren't we?" Well, what if I told you about a secret hack that'll help you dodge those long lines, just like Remy dodges the kitchen staff? On our last EPCOT trip, we cracked the code for getting through Remy's Ratatouille adventure without losing hours of time. Let me introduce you to the single rider line. And trust me, it's a game changer.
Welcome to the Smart Moms Plan Travel channel, where smart tips make travel simple for busy moms.
Oh yes, my friends, the magical loophole that saved us hours of time, our sanity, and the little ones from melting down like an ice cream cone on Main Street. Here's how it works. Instead of waiting in the regular line, where you'll be grouped together with everyone in your party, the single rider line fills in empty seats when groups have an odd number of riders. That means you're not guaranteed to sit next to your kids or your spouse, but let's be honest, by mid-afternoon, a 2-minute solo break doesn't sound too bad, right? It does mean, however, that it is only applicable to those 7 years and above. Okay, so here's the best part. I actually vlogged this on a recent trip with friends, so you can see just how fast you can get on this ride. But before you watch the rest of the video for the answer, go right now to the comments and give us your best guess for how long we waited. And if you want more of these Disney hacks, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, so Remy's Ratatouille adventure just opened a single rider line, and today is a moderately busy day. So it's about a 55-minute wait for the standard line, and we are going to try out the single rider line. So I'll get some footage of that for you, and we'll time it out and see how long it takes. Yeah, yep. Okay, so we just got in line, and it is 4:29, so we will see how long this takes. I have a group of friends here, a bunch of smart moms, and we are going to all give our predictions for how long we think it's going to take.
It's going to take 30 minutes to get through the single rider.
Yeah. 35 minutes.
25 minutes.
45 minutes.
20 minutes. 35.
Okay, and I say 20.
Ask for that. Dolly just sends them out. Dolly does not. But
Cool, thank you. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to be winner chicken dinner because it is now 4:43, which means we've been standing in line about 15 minutes, and I'm just about to get on.
Chef Remy is waiting for you. This way. Qu'attendez-vous? Here's they are, Remy. Des invités pour le dîner.
Yes, but what to prepare? Hein? Pour le repas idéal. Qu'en province? Too simple.
Voilà.
Mais oui, that's it! Cette nourriture est pour nos invités, pas pour vous. Hey guys, the food is for them, not you. Ew.
Et voici une pastille parfaite. Et tout est en salle. Et oui, what are you doing? Que manigancez-vous? Dépêchez-vous, par ici. Go, go. Come on, Remy's kitchen's just around the corner.
Trois entrecôtes pour la douce. Une à point, une bleue et une saignante.
Oui, petit chef.
Il va aussi me falloir rapidement 4 ratatouilles.
Oui, ma chérie.
Hey, thanks for coming, everyone. Vous serez toujours les bienvenus chez Remy. À bientôt et bon appétit. Et Mido. Au revoir.
Middle for you, right this way.
Okay, I am off the ride. I'm gonna go catch up with all my friends because when you ride single rider, you get split up. But we are off the ride and it is 4:51. Not bad when the full wait time was 55 minutes.
Marshall, what do you think are the benefits of the single rider line for families?
It's kind of a hard question because I don't ever use single ride because we all just go because we use the lightning lane. But I mean, it's nice that when you do have young kids and they just don't want to ride and you don't want to do the rider swap and it's just like one adult wants to ride, you just go to the single ride and you just fill in where you need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely for people like myself who have teenagers and they're just not interested in riding with mom and dad anyway. The single rider line can be amazing. It's definitely a little bit harder for the smaller kids, and you have to be careful of like height requirements and who has to sit with who based on their height. But if everyone's cool with being a single rider, I think for Ratatouille, I give it like 2 thumbs up for sure. So, Carter, how does the experience differ from the regular line when you are going through a single rider line, like Ratatouille?
Oh, I love single rider lines. I use them all the time because, Everest and all those, one of us just sits out with our daughter and the other one just uses a single rider line and we didn't have to pay to skip it. I'm going to say that I don't think I would use it for Ratatouille because it's one of the rides my 2-year-old can do with us, but obviously she can't be a single rider. So that's going to be one that we would want to do as a family, so you know, it's definitely one that I would use for Guardians of the Galaxy or pretty much any ride with a height limit of 40 plus inches because it's going to be a roller coaster we're going to do. We're not going to take our 2-year-old on anyways. And it's just very quick. Usually they're just looking for one extra person to fill in a space, especially when there's groups of 5 and groups of 7 and stuff like that. And, you just pop right on in. So I love it for a lot of rides, but I don't know that I would use it for Ratatouille myself. So it's good to hear that some folks would find it useful.
I wonder if single rider lines would be almost quicker than rider swap sometimes.
It's definitely quicker than rider swap because
Yeah.
rider swap is going to be somebody going through the entire line, the regular standby queue. You can't use it in conjunction with single rider.
Right.
So, but that's a different story for families that are able to use rider switch. You're taking someone who's old enough to go.
Okay, Jessica, so what would be the downsides to using the single rider line, do you think?
Downsides to using single rider line would be probably because you're by yourself and you could be with a stranger or somebody you don't know, or it could be a situation where the kid's really scared. I went on Rise of the Resistance and I ended up where I had some little boy ended up sitting next to me and he got really scared and he grabbed my hand and he started like crying on me, but I'm like, I'm sorry. But it felt really awkward for like him that like he wasn't with his mom or dad and he's just with me on a ride that he felt was super scary. So there was that. So that could be a downside, but I still think it's a good way to avoid the dread of waiting in line when you have kids that also do not want to wait in line and they want, are we done yet?
Yeah. Anybody else had a downside to doing a single rider line? Carter?
I wasn't gonna give another downside, but I was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
sort of reiterate because I actually just did Velocicoaster for the first time the other day, and I'd used the express lane, and they put a single rider with me because I was also a single rider, but I went through the express lane, but they put a single rider with me, and I looked down and it had this kid he had to be just barely the age you're allowed to be a single rider. Um, and he sat in line next to me and he looked up at me and I looked up down at him and I'm thinking, I'm gonna be your mom for a minute because what is happening here? Like,
That's a major ride.
oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden he pointed and his dad was going, will you switch with me? We both use single rider. And I was like, yes, please. So, I mean, it's not a guarantee, but chances are pretty good if you both get like stuck in the same place, somebody will probably switch with you with your kids. So at least ask if that ever comes up. At least ask the question.
I think there's yeah, so when you're doing single ride and it's kind of like lightning lane, sometimes you see different details in the ride. So like Avatar, Flight of Passage, you don't see all of the awesome stuff. You see something completely different, which is still cool, but you want to see the other stuff. So same with Remy's. You see different details than what other people would see. So it's kind of like a pro and con. You get like a whole new experience because you're seeing something else, but at the same time, you're not also seeing the other thing. So I definitely would recommend to ride together, go through the regular queue, and then do the single ride so you can see the other details that they do have in the rides.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. Anybody else? Okay, Corey, what tips do you have for using the single rider line?
I think you definitely have to make sure your kids are old enough. Like we've kind of mentioned before, sometimes the kids could be scared to go on their own, even if they are old enough to do it. So, making sure that everybody is okay with riding on their own. And, yeah, utilizing that when the lines are really long and you want to cut the wait time down.
It made me dizzy.
Made you dizzy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just like to add that there are many ways to try and reduce your wait time. And single rider is a fantastic option, but there are a lot of other ways. Like I personally try and get on Ratatouille at the end of the night if I'm okay with missing fireworks. If I'm okay with missing fireworks that night, then I know that if I get in line at 8:50, I'm going to get a pretty short wait and my whole family can go together through the standby queue. And it's usually around the same as what you mentioned for your single rider wait. So there are options without using lightning lanes and stuff like that, save money and also save time. So, and then if anybody else has other tips, like I feel like we could drop some of those because I definitely use that end of the night trick on every ride that I want to get on and I don't want to pay for it at some point.
I actually found that a lot of times that people are already prepared to either go in the first thing in the morning and in that night, but sometimes at midday you can actually find a good points when people are dining to get in on those rides, those like must-see rides, because it's not when they're impacted and being busy. Because a lot of people are catching on that late nighter, and then you're preparing, and then it's longer lines in both. But sometimes in that middle dead point, you can get right on.
Absolutely.
All right.
I always rope drop Remy's Ratatouille, but not from the front of the park. Only from International Gateway.
Yeah.
That's a good tip when thinking about how you're going to leave or enter the park, think about where the ride is. Especially with EPCOT because they have the two entrances. You got to think, am I rope dropping Frozen or Remy's, and which entrance am I coming in?
Well, and it's definitely a longer trek than you think, and it's amazing how many people can get in line while you're still making your trek to the back of